Welcome back, everybody, to the Manufacturing Alliance podcast. As always, I'm your host, Tony DeMakis with Alliance Specialties and Alliance Laser Sales, where we are mold makers that don't build molds. We do all the other things that you, the mold maker, needs help doing. So polishing, laser welding, laser engraving, hot runner repair, preventative mold maintenance, all of those things that as mold makers, you may have a hard time finding people to help you out with. That's where we can step in. That's where we can help out. And along with that, we also do production welding, high volume production welding. It could be for aerospace, food and beverage, whatever industry you're in. If you have a bunch of parts that need to be welded together, we can help you out with that. We also build and sell laser welding and laser engraving equipment. As far as I can tell, it's the only ones that are made here in the U.S. completely. All of our stuff is made right outside those doors in Prairie Grove, Illinois. You can always come by our Laser Development Center if you'd like to see that. We would love to have you come by. We love guests. We love people coming by and seeing all the things that we do. And I would offer that to you as well. If you like the show, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, follow, do those things wherever you're listening, whether that's LinkedIn, whether that's YouTube, Facebook, you name it. Make sure that you're getting all the things that you need to get from us, that you're never missing an episode, that you're always staying up to date so that there's never anything that you're wondering about. Like when we're going to be at trade shows next week, PT Expo. We are going to be at PT Expo next week. I'm really excited. It's in Rosemont, Illinois. It's one of my favorite shows for so many reasons. One of them is because it's a smaller scale show. Some people might say that's a bad thing because you don't get all the leads. But I've also been to the monster shows where you get so many leads that you don't know what to do, or there's so many conversations that are coming in and you don't know what's what. And it's hard to remember who you talked to and what that looked like. PT Expo is going to be a great day. It's March 17th through the 19th in Rosemont, Illinois. And if you are going to be in town on Monday, that Monday, the 16th, we are doing an event at Feed My Starving Children. I would love to see you there. If you have any questions, please put that in the chat. And I'll put all the information in there. But we're going to be going out to Feed My Starving Children. Every time we do a show or an event, we like to try and get the community involved to do some sort of charitable act. It's part of our E210 initiative. We're continuing to do that over and over again. When you're at the show, come by and see us at the booth. And you can try out laser welding for yourself. We're going to have our ID1 FW running in the background, behind the TV wall, so that it's safe and nobody has any issues with that. We'll also have the Alliance Advantage and probably the Alliance Spark out for laser engraving demos, and we'll also have the ID1 on the side. Why would you want to look at Alliance for your laser technology? Well, it's really simple. We are a company that likes to give back and make a difference in any and every way that we can. One of those ways is by giving to the Tim Tebow Foundation. So if you're looking for a laser welding machine and you're comparing all the other companies and you go, what makes you guys different? Well, we make everything ourselves. We have it all here. Everything is engineered by our team. And if you have any issues, then you get the engineering staff that actually built it, helping you out, talking you through what's going on and what's happening. Not only that, but a portion of the sale will go to the Tim Tebow Foundation to help end human trafficking, because we believe that God's children are not for sale, but American-made laser welding machines are. So that's it in a nutshell. That's what we got going on. And today I have a guest that I'm really excited about because we have never talked before. I mean, we just spoke for like 5 minutes to make sure the technology was working. But other than that, nope, nothing. Got nothing. I know that he's a guy that is really passionate about what he's doing. And he's been making some podcast rounds lately. And I'm looking forward to all the things that we're going to talk about today. So let's bring him in. Oh, wait, I lost it. Hold on. You would think this isn't my first time doing this show, but who knows? Who knows? So many things. Shane, what's happening?
Hey, how you doing, Tony?
I'm good. So Shane Grant from Momentum. You've been popular on LinkedIn lately. What's going on in your world?
Business is booming right now. I feel like this has been a great start to the year. We moved into a new facility last year, and I feel like just the last decade of grinding is finally starting to just bear the fruit of all the effort that we've been putting in. So we're just feeling really good about the momentum that we're having, and looking forward to just another amazing year.
That's awesome. Um, so, what do you guys specialize in at Momentum?
I mean, we're a job shop, and so we kind of do anything and everything. But I mean, my main focus is trying to find the small, niche, complicated, components that most everybody doesn't want to mess with. So we're isolating ourselves in the aerospace and medical industry, and we're really kind of looking for those difficult parts that people just kind of shy away from. I mean, we're a production prototype shop, but we're heavy on the prototype, and I think that's what sets us apart, because you just can't find a certain level of skill, out there anymore. And so we've just got a solid team of guys that have the capability and the experience to be able to take on really high level projects and to be able to execute at a really high level and just perform, for our customers and support all of their development needs. So I think that's what sets us apart right now.
That's awesome. And you said that you guys have been doing this grind for quite some time now. How have you seen the industry changing over the last, what is it, 10 years? Or how long have you been doing what you're doing?
Well, let's see. Not to date myself, but to go back into the '90s when I started working on, Bridgeports and tape read machines, and definitely back to the old school days of doing things the old-fashioned way. But that was for me. It felt really good to kind of have that base as my experience. I mean, I started with a very raw manufacturing experience where, you had to get that feeling of the controls. You had to understand just the movement of the machine was. And so, taking that and moving into CNC machines and then the CAD CAM and then going from 3 axis to 4 axis to 5 axis and above. I feel like I had that transition. And I think for me, technology was something that I was always really interested in, and I was really behind. And so, so I've been doing this for 30 years, and I feel like I still love getting up every single day and coming into the shop and challenging myself to really see, what I'm capable of. And I don't think there's a day that I doesn't go by that I always learn something new. I'm always finding different ways to invent something and to be able to come up with a process that is better than the one before. And so I think that creativity and that just ability to kind of expand your mind on a daily basis is what keeps me sharp, and it keeps me fired up about, being in this industry.
Yeah. I mean, 30 years, there's been a lot of changes and shifts in technology and culture and the way that business is done. Um, when you were getting into the field, what caught your interest originally? Like, why, when everybody else is saying like you got to go do these things, what makes you shift and go into the manufacturing space?
Well, I don't know if I necessarily had a choice then. I was just a, 15-year-old kid, and my stepdad started a machine shop, and it was one of those things where he said, "We're going to work." And so I hopped in the car and followed him in. And so it was definitely, wasn't something I necessarily chose, but I fell in love with it. I think, and it was the right industry. I think out of all the paths that I could have taken, I was just fortunate enough to find the one that was the right fit for. There was definitely been just finding that space where I fit, and I had to. I mean, once the company that I started in, they unfortunately made some tough decisions that led to the close of the company. But those for me were great learning points and understanding points as I continued in my career. 20 years in the industry before I started my company, I felt gave me the experience and the knowledge to be able to take that leap of faith and to, start a company with my own, objective, and to create my own culture and to create my own idea of what manufacturing is supposed to look like. And so, if I would have started sooner, I don't know if I would have had the same outcome as what I have right now. And so I'm thankful, even though it feels like a long time, that I had that track record of just going through all of those different industries and kind of getting all those different experiences.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, one of the things that you said that I thought was interesting is like, I didn't really have much of a choice. My stepdad said, "Come on, we're going to work," and you went to work. And I think to a detriment, that's no longer the case with a lot of people, right? Like, those 15, 16, 17-year-old kids are going to they're just going to Chipotle or,
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A to go get a job instead of learning a trade and figuring out what that actually looks like to manufacture things and um, get involved and have somebody in their life that says, "Come on, let's go. Get off the couch and let's go to work."
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that that's definitely one of the things that people just don't quite have a grasp of really what you can do within, manufacturing. I think there's this idea that it's this dark, dingy, gloomy place where there's just a bunch of people standing, pushing buttons, and there's really no creativity in that space. But I mean, I think if people really had an understanding of it and knew that you can create anything from nothing,
Mhm.
I mean, it's just, it's the possibilities are endless. And I feel like as long as you have the discipline and the motivation and the drive to be able to get in there and just get the work done, then you're going to be successful in this industry, hands down.
Yeah, it's a do industry, right? Like it's not there's really nothing that's given to you. You have to go out and work for it and hunt for it and prove that you can do the things that you say that you're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think I get a satisfaction from that too. I don't think if I was in a different industry and I didn't have to work for it, it wouldn't feel the same. I mean, at the end of the day, when I get done doing something, I have something to show for. I have something tangible that I know makes an impact on so many different lives, whether it's a component for an airplane or it's a drive shaft for a car or whatever the circumstances are. I know that I'm making an impact, and it feels really good to just be a part of all of that.
Because everywhere you look, you can say, "I did that. I helped do
Absolutely.
that. I helped put this together." These are all real things that are around us every day in the world. Um, and it's so weird to me because very few people even think about where stuff comes from and how it has to be made, and that there are people that are coming up with these ideas all the time and making it happen and making it work.
Yeah, it's definitely something I'm sure people take for granted. And I mean, I feel like it's a small bloodline to just the American culture that has seems to be like somewhat forgotten about. But we're still out here. We're still doing it. We're still making things happen, and we're making sure that we're creating new products and creating solutions to problems and finding ways to be more efficient and saving money or whatever has to be done to be able to continue to keep this market moving in the right direction. And so we're definitely really proud as a team to be a part of that and to be, a small influence as a company, that's just here. And, Michigan, it's definitely, it's a manufacturing state, but, for us to be a part of that in a small scale, it's just, we feel really blessed.
Yeah. No, we
Yeah.
should, right? I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at, right? When you're saying that you went from 20 years in the industry to deciding to build your own company. Now you are in it and moving and thriving and finding success. So let's go back to like being that 15-year-old kid. Stepdad says, "Get up, let's go to work." Now he started the company.
Yep. We moved to Michigan, and when he got here, he actually had lost his job, and he was either going to go and find a new job or head and take that dream of starting your. I think every machinist has that dream of starting their own company, and so he kind of went for it and went for it. I was at an age where I could support some of the things that he was trying to do, and so started just sweeping floors and kind of just built from there. And once he realized that I had an ability, then it just kind of developed and grew from that point.
Yeah. So were you taking shop classes in school? Were you always interested in the manufacturing side of things? Or was this just something where he said, "Let's go. I need your help. You're doing it."
I don't know if I was taking any classes up to that point. I mean, I feel like I took some technology classes, and things definitely have changed as what schools offer. And so when I was at that point, I think I was more artistic than anything else. And then but I was a worker. I liked building things. I liked creating things. And so I was able to kind of make that connection through that, introduction into machining. And I kind of embraced it. I mean, obviously, you're 16-year-old and you're starting to make money. You got a nice set of wheels, and you got things that you can go and do. I think those were things were definitely motivating, is just to be able to go in and what of a little bit of freedom and maybe a little independence, and just feeling my other friends and other peers were, like you said, they were just sitting around going to Chipotle or doing something that didn't really feel like had any substance to it. And I felt like this was a thing for me that gave me some purpose and some direction.
Yeah, no, I love that. I had a similar. I mean, I didn't stay in the industry as long as you did. I left and came back. But my father started our company 47 years ago, around there, 46 years ago, and we would go to like a computer fair or something. And he was like, "Oh, you want a game? Cool. You're cutting the grass today." Right. And I'm like, fourth grade, cutting the grass in the field or taking out the garbage or, doing all the little things just to have an introduction to the shop and what that looked like. And really just to hang out with my dad is, I think, part of the other reason that he did that, right? Like, let's hang out together. Let's see what this company is that I'm building. And from there, I would work sporadically. And then in high school, I was a driver and a polisher. And he always made my life miserable with it and said it was a justification for higher education. You don't like school, you don't like to pay attention, you don't want to do good on tests, that's fine. You don't have to. There's always going to be a job for you. This is what you're going to be doing. Do you like that? Are you happy with it? And I wasn't. And so I left and went off and did my own thing, went to college, got a degree in graphic design and marketing and fine arts. And my wife and I had our own company for a while, and then we came back. It's the prodigal son returns. And I'm not in a role where I know how to do any of the stuff in the shop. We have really good people for that, but I have an appreciation for all of it and what goes into it, and the ability to be able to, like you said, create actual products from just steel and going from there. It's amazing.
Well, I will
So
say
when
one of
you
the things that I've had some
go
really
ahead.
hard lessons through this. I was just gonna,
No, go ahead. You're
kind of
good.
touch on, starting a company and going from, a machinist to a company, to a business owner. That was definitely a process that, I did in a very organic way. I didn't know how to start. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what to do. And, now 10 years later, reflecting back on that, I can definitely see a lot of the mistakes that I made, a lot of things that I wish I would have done differently. A lot of things that I know has held me back, but these are all been, great growth points for me. But, it's just at this point, 30 years in the industry, I want to kind of like finish something complete. I want to know that I accomplished the things that I set out to do. And so it's just, I look back now and I wish I would have built the company differently, because I built the company around my ability. And I think that is the problem that a lot of small shops, they get stuck in, is rather than building the company to work for you, I built the company, me working for it, and kind of has consumed me in a way that I'm trying to find a solution to removing myself to being such a priority, because I love what I do. At the end of the day, I can't grow my company if I'm working in it. I gotta be working
Right.
on it. And so that's been a long process to kind of realize that and know that that transition is going to be the next kind of pivot point for our company to be able to succeed.
Yeah, and that's a real thing, right? I have the benefit of nobody wants me in the shop. That's a fact. There's nothing that I'm doing out there. So that's fine. That's good. It's good. Um, and I think that's part of that being that second generation. Not that there's not a lot of second generation people that don't step into the roles and work in the shop. It's just not what I was built to do. I got some partners that help out in that category in that situation, and that's great. Um, so you learned a lot of stuff when you're working with your stepdad, right? And how long were you with him in that company?
I was there for about 7 years. We finally had to close down, and we were mostly an automotive shop that we were doing a lot of work for Chrysler, GM, and Ford, stuff like that, where it was just high volume, repeat work that was just constantly coming in the door. But some mistakes were made, contracts, fell through, and but too many eggs in one basket, hard pretty quick. So those are some good lessons for me to see and things to understand. But I left there and went to an industrial company for about 5 years, and then I was in an aerospace company for 8 years, and finally had decided that after all of those different industries that it was time for me to kind of take that combined knowledge and put it to use for my own peace of mind.
What was that thought process? Like, because you go from like having steady income and you go from having security of knowing that you got a job and all those things to saying, listen, I'm just gonna do it. I mean, were you saving in advance for that? Was this something that you were thinking about for a long time, or was it just like, let's go?
No, I think that every company I was in, which I was only in three, I just kept hitting a ceiling where I'd go somewhere new, I'd learn something new, and then I'd kind of just continue to run out of. Went into aerospace. That was like the place that I was going to feel like, okay, there's nothing that they won't be able to throw at me that won't be a challenge. I'll always be looking for growth in this space, and I won't hit that ceiling. And I was really surprised at how quickly I was able to hit a ceiling. And I always have big ideas, and I always felt like there was just something more for me. And so, I probably about 5 years into my aerospace career, I actually started building behind my garage or behind my house. I was like, you know what? I'll just maybe start building something, see what happens. And so I spent a couple of years building it from the ground up. I put the foundation in, put the walls up. I mean, you name it. I put that thing together piece by piece, just with the idea that maybe I could put a machine on the shop floor one day.
Yeah.
And I think it was year 7, I finally said, you know what, maybe I should just try and start doing this part-time and see how I like it. And so I went and found a machine on auction and put it in there and started some little spacers for the enduro industry. And, from that point, I kind of had to make a decision of whether I was going to do this or not do this. And it was a really tough decision because, like you said, I had all that security, I had all those benefits, I had all of that there protecting me from any kind of unknowns. And starting a business is one big unknown. And so for me, I felt like I was 35, and I felt like at that point, it was either now or never. Want to, look back and wish I would have. And I mean, I can look back now and say I started, 5 or 10 years before then, because maybe at this point I'd be even farther along or done, or I don't really know. But I'm just glad that I started when I did. But it took a minute to commit to just that process, because it was a very overwhelming transition to, because I think everybody has their idea of how a company is supposed to be ran, or if I was running a company, it would be so much easier. And then you actually have to do it, and then you see all of the different things that it takes to run a company, and you realize that it does take a team and an effort to collaborate and make this machine work together. And so I battled the first 3 years, by myself, figure things out before I was able to hire my first employee. And so a lot of scars, a lot of late nights, and things that really made me question that decision. But I knew that it was still the right path for me. And I'm glad that I made that leap of faith, because I think that if I wouldn't have, I'd probably still be there, wondering and wishing that I would have taken that risk.
So what were some of the milestones that let you know, yes, I made the right decision, right? Because those early years where you're by yourself, it's late nights, you're not sure what's what, My wife and I had our own design company for a while, so I can talk to that a little bit, where you go like, yeah, I would love to go out to dinner with you, but I don't know if we got money coming in this week. And I don't know where that next customer is going to come from. And I don't know how to do this next thing, to then being in a spot where you go, yeah, we're making it. We made the right decision. What were those little milestones along the way, or the first one that you thought, yes, this is it?
I feel like there's a lot of milestones for me, but I can remember one specific that, when I first, was more or less just word of mouth and just those connections through people that I had worked with for 20 years. But then I started to actually do things on social media and kind of just share my story a little bit. And I think once I started sharing my story, I started getting people that are interested in, and I started to recognize the power of just putting yourself out there. And I had a couple of companies reach out to me from, all the way across the country, that they were struggling with finding a manufacturer. And they said that they would be, interested in giving me some quotes to kind of, see where things would fit. And they sent me one print to take a look at. Rather than quoting the part, I made the part plane, flew to their company, put it on, and I said, "Here you go, and this is what I can make it for." They were blown away. They were absolutely just blown away by me making that commitment to that. But I was just, at that point, I was like, I'm not going to miss an opportunity like this. I'm going to make it happen. And so it was just kind of a point for me where I just recognized, that this could be not just, successful, but this could be a lot of fun. This could be something that I can see the country. I can meet new people. I can, touch on different industries that I've never been involved in before, and gave me an opportunity to kind of realize the potential of what the company could be. And so that was a really big turning point for me. And I think that's where I actually was able to hire my first employee, because I got some production work out of that job, years worth of work. So, beyond that, I mean, I could talk all about all the different things, but I mean, we've had fires, we've had power outages. I mean, you name it. The Mother Nature has thrown everything at us to try and test our resilience and stuff. But I feel like you'll just between me and my team, and just saying that it doesn't matter what it's thrown at us. I mean, this is what manufacturing is. We're problem solvers, right? This is what we're supposed to solutions to them. And so it kind of settled into that space. That kind of just continued to just give me the confidence of, moving the company forward. But it took a lot of years for me to gain a lot of confidence in myself independently. And just recently, I'm starting to gain the confidence in my company to be able to approach, bigger companies and to reject work that doesn't fit with what we do. So there's a lot of things that happen and pivots and transitions through this process. And, I love talking about all of them, because I think that that's what makes these small businesses so special, is because everybody's got you have so many different things that they've had to face, and facing those adversities and being able to push through them, I think, is what separates us from other, big companies.
And I love that you said that you just got out there and started telling your story. Because one of the things that I feel like so many people miss on is the fact that everybody does have a story. Everybody does have something that makes them unique or special, or a story to tell about who they are and what their business is and why they're doing what they're doing. It's not just to make parts, right? I mean, that's an easy answer.
Sure. No, I mean, I feel like the this company has cultivated me into becoming, a certain type of man and a certain type of leader. And it has been life changing, beyond just what making parts has done. I mean, all the things that we do on a day-to-day basis is great, but I feel like the evolution of just myself and my team, and the people that we've become through this process has been so rewarding. And it's something that I'll never be able to get from anything else. And that's something I'm very thankful for through this whole process.
So how does that come to you? Like, how do you go from a guy that's working by himself to knowing how to put together the right team, and then lead that team through the adversities that you face, whether that's, like you said, floods, fires, unknown, looking for customers, bad results, like all those things. It's not an easy thing to go from shop floor guy to owner leader.
Yeah, it's definitely been a hard road. I know that one of the things that has worked for me is just being present and on with my team. If they've got a problem, I'm there to help. If if they're struggling with something, we're going to work through it together. I think that is the one thing that I struggled with finding in other companies is just not just leaders, but people that would actually step in and fight through some of these challenges with me. And I think that builds that trust and that builds that rapport and that builds that strength between you and the people that are working for you. That's really important. And so I know that my guys would do anything for me because of that, because I show up every single day. I'm the first one here. I'm the last one to leave. They can depend on me. I expect them to. I expect them to depend on me. I mean, I take a lot of pride in the fact that we've got this strong team, and I'm here to support them, but I have that same expectation for them, and they know that. And we set a high expectation for each other. So that way we don't lower the bar to just be like anybody else. And I think that's one of the things that they appreciate is that I continue to push them to become, stronger mentally, be able to stay more focused, to be able to be just, better men in this space. So, it's a big win for us as a team to just continue to keep pushing each other and making sure that we don't just settle, and we're always looking for ways to improve, not just as a company but as individuals.
I love what you said about being better men, right? Just being better humans in general is a huge thing. And sometimes I just think that too many people just go to work to get a paycheck to go home, right? And then rinse and repeat over and over again, instead of realizing that there are opportunities for growth everywhere around. Like every day that you go to work, there's an opportunity to lead better, influence differently, and develop not just your skills in building the parts, but your skills in being a human, in human relations and interactions, and just growing overall, so that you're a better husband, you're a better father, you're a better uh, teammate. All of those things together.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think that, we spend so much time at work. I don't want work to just be work. I want that place for growth for, every aspect of our life. And I want this to be a safe place that my guys can come to and feel like they have an impact on what this company is doing and the industries that we're working for. And, so, I mean, this is our safe place. When they come to work, this is a place where they can feel comfortable and confident, and they can feel there is a camaraderie. And I feel like that's one of the most important things about our culture, is that this isn't somewhere where they just go to get a paycheck. This isn't somewhere they just show up to punch in and punch out. They come in and they expect to have a challenge, and they expect me to not just challenge them as machinists, but challenge them as men, and make sure that we are patient and disciplined and focused, and we've got that grit to be able to push through those hard things. And when we have failures, that's not a failure, that's an opportunity to learn. And so these are all these wonderful points that we get to have on a daily basis as a team. And I make sure that we focus on those failures and those wins and all the different things that happen on a daily basis, so that way it doesn't just get lost in the minutia of each and every day. It is something that we focus on, that we pay attention to, and that we learn to grow from.
All the stuff you're saying is spot on, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I'm not an expert, but I think it's spot on. Where do you get your leadership style from?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I've had a lot of different leaders in my life, and I think that I've tried to take the different aspects of each of the leaders that I've been in, relationships with, to just say, what of those characteristics do I want to have, and who do I want to be? And I think that's something a lot of people ask me, is like, who would you, 10 years from now, what would you say to yourself? Or 10 years ago, what advice would you give yourself? And I think right now it's like, when I look at what I've accomplished and the things that I do want to accomplish, I just want to know at the end of the day that I can be proud of who I am through that process, and know that I didn't deviate, my character, and I didn't change my ethics, and I didn't adjust because of something somebody wanted me to do. So I'm staying true to myself. I'm staying true to my team. And I think that those are the kind of things that, as a leader, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm, doing development on myself in the shop, outside of the shop, so that way I can use that as tools to support my team and to support my company. And it's a daily and a weekly, and it's a constant evolution. I mean, I'm working on those leadership skills all the time, because it's one of those things that I don't think you can ever perfect. It's just something you continue to work on.
I 100% agree with you. There's always something that you could be doing slightly differently, right? And stepping into things in a different way, and caring about people differently. Um, and it's a unique thing. There are a lot of owners out there that are worried about themselves and the bottom line, and that's the most important thing, right? How much profit are we making? What's the margin? What's this? What's that? Instead of doing the things that you're talking about, looking at your team and saying, how do we make better people? How do we make better men? Not that they're not good to start with, but we can always, all of us can grow and get better every single day, and learn new ways to have emotional intelligence, and grow in our thoughts and our communication, and just getting better in every area of life.
No, absolutely. I mean, I know over the last 10 years, I've definitely changed and become a completely different man. And I'm very thankful for all of these obstacles that I've had to go through, because I think it's chipped away some of the things that maybe that I was hanging on to from previous places. And not necessarily frustration or anger, but just disappointment, or things that I could say that, well, I didn't get this because. And I'm no longer a victim. I mean, I'm the master of my destiny. I'm a master of the things that I want in my life. And I think that those are the things that, as I continue to grow and become more mature in that space, I recognize that all of the success, all of the failures, all of the things that happen are something that I will take accountability for. And those are the things that will continue to work on as we move this company forward. And I'm thankful for all of it. So it's something that I hope that I can get up every day and just continue to push forward and be proud of what we're trying to accomplish here.
I mean, suffering can do one of two things, right? Challenges can do one of two things. They can break you down and make you quit, or they can make you persevere. And when you persevere, you get stronger in all of those areas. And then you know that the next time something comes your way, you can get stronger after that. And every time in my life where things are too easy, I kind of go on cruise control, and the autopilot goes on in my life, and I don't recognize, what's happening. It's only when like the adversity comes and the difficulties come where you have to focus and be completely intentional in all the things that you're doing. It's like a golf game, right? You think you got golf figured out, and you swing and everything is good, and you're hitting the fairway, life is good, and then you get a little cocky and arrogant, and you swing a little too hard, or whatever that looks like, and it's gone, right? And you have to refocus everything that you're doing, from your addressing the ball to stepping up, where your feet. You can't just live life on autopilot, and you only realize that when the stuff hits the fan.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think on a personal level, I look for challenges on a daily basis. I mean, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's, my diet, exercise, making sure that I'm, taking time to give self-care and just this mental focus, reading books. I mean, I feel like I spend an enormous amount of time trying to focus on those things and try and find myself in difficult, situations. So that way, when I go to work or wherever I'm at and I find something difficult, it just doesn't feel as difficult when you're constantly looking for, things that challenge you in life. And so easy almost feels uncomfortable to me. I'd rather be in the uneasy, because I think that's the space for me that's going to give me the most growth. It's going to give me the most opportunity for success. And it's going to be the thing that sets me apart from everybody else, because I feel like, in today's age, it seems like everybody's looking for the easy. And I'm definitely the opposite, and I want to look for the hard, because I feel like that's going to be the things that give me the opportunity to become who I want to be, because easy doesn't give me that. So
Yeah, challenges are great. I mean, if you're going to go to the gym every day and like just lift the smallest amount of weight possible, that's stupid, right? You want to continue to grow and push yourself. If you're running, you want to get the faster time. If you're lifting stuff, you want to lift the heavier thing. All of it is to make yourself bigger and better and stronger, so that you can do more things, not just because, but so you can do more things. Uh, it is what makes it fun, right? Otherwise, it's just boring. If you're just doing the same thing all the time on easy, to me that gets boring. And it
sure.
sounds like you feel the same way.
Well, I feel like I don't think anybody really knows what they're capable of until they push themselves to those spaces. I
Hmm.
think that we always will easily just shy away from something. I can't do that, or that's too hard, or this, that, and the other, whatever the excuses are. And I think that those are the moments where it's like, man, I'll have a 14-hour day or a 16-hour day, or I'll have 7 days where I haven't had a chance to breathe, and I just dig even harder, just because I know that it's like I'm capable of doing more and know that I can. And so I keep pushing myself past those limits, but also giving myself, credit where credit's due, and giving myself time to recover, and giving myself, some care where I need it. So there's a balance there for sure, because I think that there is breaking points for a lot of people, and you got to know where that breaking point is. But there's also, you're a lot more capable than I think you give yourself credit for in most cases. And so I'm always looking for that, because I think just like anything else, like you're saying, you go to the gym and you lift a little bit heavier, and like, oh, I just push a little bit harder and I can get that other 5 pounds or another 2.5 pounds or whatever that is, and hit that next benchmark. And now you're repping it out. Now you start to rep, and then you're moving up another, 5 or 10 pounds, and you start to see that development and that growth and all of those different, things happening. And then you can say, now I just need to work on my chest or my back or my shoulders or whatever it is. And the same thing with life. It's like I've nailed down this process, but I can improve here, and that's going to make me sharper. It's going to make me stronger. And so now it's just looking for different ways to just continue improving yourself, and looking for other areas that are weak, so that way you can strengthen those areas and just become strong overall.
I love it, man. My friend Rich Thiel from SCS Standard Cutting Solutions says important stuff first. Good beard chain needs improvement, Tony. I listen. He's not wrong. My beard was longer before. We had mustache night at Awana, so I'm not just going to walk around rocking a mustache. I'm not that guy. Um, but a beard like that shows commitment.
Oh yeah, it's definitely something that's taken some time. And when I started this company, I didn't have any gray in the beard, so I don't know if that's from just the decade of just facing all these challenges. But I definitely have had an ability to grow a beard that has been fun for me to just to mess around with. But yeah, it's a good time.
If you're looking for cutting tools, Rich is the guy. He's awesome.
Got it.
Yeah, good friend of mine. But I think the stuff that we're talking about, it doesn't just apply to manufacturing. It's all of life, right? Um, and I believe that God gives us those things on purpose to push us to be better, to be stronger, and to rely on Him for the things that we need. To recognize that I can't do this on my own. I need help, whether that comes in the form of your team or your family or whatever that looks like. But too many people try to do life independently, and you can only push so hard when you're doing this by yourself, right? Like using the gym example, you can only go so heavy before you go, I should probably have a spotter, or this could end really poorly for me, right? You can never find that next limit unless you have somebody doing it with you, to encourage you and to be there in case something goes wrong, to help you to be able to carry the load alongside of you.
No, absolutely. I think that was definitely given a lot of gifts that probably is what was another factor in me starting this company. As I know I was built to be a leader. I know I was built to handle hard things, and I know that I have a mind that is different than other people. And so I didn't want to waste that ability that was given to me, and I didn't want to waste that ability to mentor and to be a support and to be able to give people a place and a space where they could come and learn and grow and be men and be weak and strong at the same time, you know, and know that it's okay to have that. And I know that, you know, without that support system, without that team, I know that I can't become, you know, the company that I know that we're capable of. And so there's a lot of, you know, places where you got to just make sure you put your ego aside and you humble yourself and recognize that it is an effort with team and family and a support crew around you that can make things happen, and to just allow them to be a part of what it is that you're doing. And I think honestly, we're meant to do life with people. We're meant to be in this together. And so, you know, if we can be in it together and we can grow together, I think there's a bond that's, you know, hard to break if you do it in the right way. And I think that's what my objective has been through this process. And I think, again, my guys would go toe to toe with anybody, and they wouldn't, you know, they wouldn't, you know, I say they wouldn't leave this place, but you know, you never really know. But I mean, for the most part, they breathe and they live this place just as much as I do. And I'm so thankful to you know, to have had that opportunity to grow alongside them, and you know, to be a leader for them and to make them feel like, you know, just like I had at my previous company, where there was that sense of security. You know, they have a sense of security here, not just with me financially, but just knowing that I have a vision that they want to follow and that they're a part of. And I think that that's important.
How many people are on your staff now?
There's just three of us, but we're three strong, you know.
Okay.
So I've got two more guys that I'm trying to hire right now, and I think that that's been a complication, is just trying to find that right fit, because every conversation that I have, most of the time when they come in there, you know, it's not technical. You know, we're talking personal, and I want to know the person that's coming into this space, because I think that that's more important than anything technical. Because I can teach technical, I can't teach personal to some people. Some people can be brought around. Some people are willing to you know, have that growth. Some people aren't. And so those are the things that I have to find out to make sure that they have that ability, and they want to be a part of a team, and they want to have an opportunity to grow as an individual, because you know, this is a family here, and I'm not going to let just anybody into the family. And so we make sure that we keep things pretty tight, and that the people that come into this space fit that mold, and that want an opportunity to be part of something really special.
You know, you can have whatever skill set you want on your resume, right? You can know all the stuff. You can run all the machines, you can have all the data, you can make all the cool parts. But if you suck as a human, you can destroy an organization.
Absolutely. And I think we've all worked in companies like that. And so we can definitely pick that out pretty quick. And so that's something that I've made sure I've protected through this whole process, because I know how important that is. And for them to trust that I'm making those decisions and not allowing anything toxic into this space, because, you know, something like that can spread really quick, and just becomes this virus that it's hard to get rid of. And you know, attitude is important, you know, positivity is important, and making sure that we're staying focused on this agenda and this objective to be this elite manufacturing team, and be this not just me being a leader for them, but we're being a leader for our community. We're being a leader for this industry. We are representing what modern manufacturing should look like. And you know, so that is a big responsibility that not just I hold, but I hold my team accountable for. So wherever we're at, whatever we're doing, we need to show up and represent that space in the correct way. So bringing somebody onto the team that doesn't have that same mindset, or doesn't represent what we're trying to do, you know, this isn't the company for them. And there's companies out there that they'll fit in, but for us, we're definitely trying to make sure that we're on a path and a journey that you know, I think is really special. And I want to make sure that we don't ever allow money or opportunities or something to just change that objective, because I know that in some cases you get too many luxuries in life, and maybe you start to get a little bit greedy or carried away with you know, your ego. And we try to stay as humble as we can, because we know that you know, it's as quickly as it can grow and become an empire, it can crumble down to the ground just as fast.
Yeah. Yeah. What are the next steps? So you've gone from you by yourself. You got three of you now. What are the goals for the near future?
Well, moving into the new facility was a big milestone for us. We went from a 1,500 square foot pole barn to a 5,000 square foot manufacturing building in town. So that way we're just more visible and closer to our resources. And so we spent about a year doing renovations on the back of our building to turn it from this pretty dilapidated old screw machine shop that was either going to be turned into a parking lot or it was going to be, burned to the ground. It was in that bad a shape. But I saw something when I came into this building that it felt special. And so we, as a team, came in here and we put that vision to the test, and we made it an amazing small manufacturing shop that most people are blown away by when they get to see that space. So we're going to continue on that path, and we're going to finish this space that we're in, so that way we can bring in more people, we can take on more industries, we can take on more equipment, and we continue to grow as a company. But we're also trying to develop our own products, so that way we can not just support other industries, but actually support a consumer base and just share some of the skills that we have as a machine shop, and just show what you can do with your own imagination and creativity, and not just that, but precision machining. I mean, we make art with everything that we do, and it's something we're really proud of.
So you're making your own products coming up.
That is the agenda. I mean, I've got some ideas that we've been working on. I've started a second company. We've got a couple of prototypes that we're in processing right now, and I'm hoping to actually bring that to market here this summer. And hopefully it will be something that the consumers will love, and it will be an opportunity for us to just kind of try a different industry and a different market.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Good for you.
Thank you.
It's fun when you have that ability to just say, like, listen, does this thing exist yet? No, let's make it.
Oh yeah, I mean, it honestly, it's because that's most of the people that come to me. They're coming to me with that same idea, that same thought, and we are the ones that are creating all of these ideas and bringing these, into reality. And so we're just like, we should do that for ourselves. We should take our own ideas and put those into reality. And so, just something that the company that I've built, the strength that's there, that's the focus. But we're definitely dipping our toes into the other side of the pond here to see if being on the creative end and developing our own product could be something that could lead us down a new path, and something that can potentially open up a new door that we weren't sure about. And I think that's one of the things that's exciting about what we do here. We're not just on and stuck in one direction. We definitely are open up doors and windows, and finding different ways to continue to reinvent ourselves and make sure that we aren't, missing out on an opportunity. We want to uncover any stone that's out there to see if this is the fit for us. And so we just continue to do that and evolve and find new ways to grow as grow as a company.
I love it. I love it. You want to do something stupid? You want to play 5 questions?
Sure, let's do it.
All right. Question number 1. If you could make one rule that everyone had to follow, what would it be?
Is this a question about like as business owner, or is this just in general?
This is just life. This is life. One rule that everyone has to follow.
One rule that everyone has to follow. You got to be true to yourself.
Okay. And as a business owner, is that a different answer?
No, I don't think so. I think that when you're true to yourself and you're honest with who you are, and you're not afraid to be the person that you are, then I think that there's an honesty and a rawness to that I think is really important for people to not feel like they have to be somebody else. I want that, for my guys, I want them to feel who they are when they come into space.
There's a lot of freedom in that, isn't there? I mean, just the idea of, like, I don't care. Like, if you don't like me, I don't really care. I can't be 7 different people for 7 different people.
Exactly.
I can only be who I am. And every time in my life where I tried to do that, at some point you fall over and you forget which person you're supposed to be for the person that you're talking to at that moment.
100%.
So just there's the lesson for today. Just be authentic. Be
Yes,
authentic
be authentic. That's it.
and who you
100%.
are.
Yep.
Unless you totally suck, then be somebody else.
Right. Right. Exactly.
All right, question 2. What is one thing that you're superstitious about?
Oh man. I'm not necessarily a superstitious guy, but I will say that, when I'm in the shop or when I'm talking about something going wrong, like I say, I hope I don't, this doesn't go wrong. That's when something goes wrong. So
Oh yeah.
usually I'm definitely, knock on wood, don't speak evil out there. That could come back to get you. So we're definitely trying to stay positive at all times because, anytime I say something negative, I feel like I get a negative result.
It's those projects where you go, we have to nail this one. We can't have any
Yeah.
mistakes on this one. We got to get this right. And if you think if I would have just shut up, we would have been fine. But it's whenever I say those words,
Yep.
something happens. All right, question 3. If
Exactly.
you
Yep.
swapped,
Definitely keep your mouth closed and stay focused.
that's it. If you could swap genders for the day, how would you spend your time?
If I could swap genders for the day, I don't know. I feel like that's a really hard one. I got two daughters, and they are amazing young ladies that are just as strong as any men that I've ever seen out there. And but at the same time, I feel like if I was able to shed my shield, or maybe put down my sword for a minute and to allow somebody to take care of me, maybe and be in a feminine space. I don't know, to just put my guard down a little bit. That would be nice to maybe be in a role where I could adjust a little bit and be more vulnerable, because I got to be pretty strong on a daily basis.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of requirements to being a man, isn't there? I mean, if you do it the right way, there's a lot of things that we have to try and live up to and be for the people around us.
Well, I'm happy to take on that responsibility. I was built for it, and I think that that's one thing that I have no problem carrying around.
Yeah. Question 4. If animals could talk, what would be the rudest and why?
Uh, Animals could talk. What would be the rudest? The rudest animal? I don't
Yeah.
know. I tell you what, I've known some pretty rude cats. I mean, I don't know what they're thinking or what they're doing, but they definitely just kind of run their own kind of lifestyle. I mean, I'm envious sometimes of the way that they live, but they definitely will push the boundaries and find ways to kind of see what you're willing to allow or not allow. So, maybe an ant or like a cat. That's the one that if they could talk, I'm sure that they wouldn't have a lot of nice things to say.
It's funny because that is the most popular answer about what would be the rudest animal and why. And so many people have them. And it's like you're just inviting awful into your house. I don't understand it. I just don't
Right.
understand it. I don't have any pets, so I'm not a good pet person. I like people. I don't like animals. I mean, I don't hate
I'm
animals.
with you.
I I think they're delicious. I just don't want to take care of any animals.
I hear you.
And God has made animals to be eaten, not to be cuddled with. Question number 5. How many kindergarten kids could you take in a fight before you were outnumbered?
Ooh, kindergartners. You know what? I feel like kindergarten, it's not about strength. It's about outsmarting them. So I think that I could probably take on quite a few. I bet you I could take on at least 15 or 20 of them before they took me down. And I think it would just be all a matter of distraction. So I'm the master of distraction. And so I think that I would use those tactics before I was worried about any kind of strength.
All right, that's good. Well, the problem is they grab your ankles and then you can't move. You're like an AT-AT in Star Wars, and they just wrap around your ankles, and before you know it, you fall. That's a
Exactly.
bad thing, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it. Uh,
Well, I'm kind of tall, so it'd be kind of a pretty good fall, going down, and it'd be like a little a miniature crowd surfing. I imagined once they got me down, but they'd definitely take them a while to get me there.
Gulliver's Travels.
Exactly.
So, um, is there anything else, Shane, that you want us to touch on that people need to know about you or Momentum? And how can they, if they have a project that they would like you to quote, how can they reach out to you?
Go and check us out online. I mean, I got all my socials out there, but if you just go to www.machiningmomentum.com, you can check us out, see what we're all about. I've got my TikToks, and I've got Instagram, and I've got Facebook, and LinkedIn is generally where I spend most of my time, just because that's my professional platform. But we like to try and find different ways to connect with different generations and different people, and I think that's definitely one of the things that I'm trying to do, not just lead these men, but I'm trying to be a part of the development of some of the younger kids that are coming into STEM fields and stuff like that. So I'm part of a couple of boards where I can kind of guide and lead students in 7th, 8th grade up into high school. And so that's something that we feel like we want to be a part of. We want to not just make sure that we're creating men in this space, but we're showing these boys how to become men, and not just that, but how to create things and to be an intricate part of what this country needs. And so anything that's out there that people are looking for a company to take on a challenge, that's us. And feel free to reach out to us and see if we can support whatever that is.
Do you feel like we're having a resurgence in manufacturing? Like when you're going into schools and talking to these teachers and younger students, does it feel like there's a resurgence of people that want to go back out and work with their hands and get involved and build things? Or is society right that that's just not what people want, and we're going to have to keep looking for people, and the search is going to get harder and harder?
I think it's kind of a mixed bag. I mean, I think there are still, there is that craving and that desire, and then I think it's just a matter of making sure that there's the opportunity, and there's the offer for all of these students to be able to have a chance to experience it, and a chance to witness it, to know if it's something that they want to be a part of. And so I'd like to say that I see, a lot of the schools making that transition, but this is an expensive business to be in. This industry is very demanding, and I think that it's something that we're still kind of working on getting the pay to kind of match the expertise that comes along with it. And that's something that I'd love to see some adjustments in. But, I think that you've got all these other STEM fields where they don't have the kind of competition that we do. And so I think that's where some of the, the cost of living and the wages and stuff like kind of come into play. And so I'd like to think that we're seeing a surge and a growth, because I know the need is there. I know that we're seeing a huge need for it. And I just and I have a lot of schools that I am connected with, and a lot of educators that I'm connected with, that are doing everything they can to not just get kids into manufacturing, but to really get them into connecting technology to that space, so that way they can feel and understand the relevance that is there, because it's not this old technology anymore. It's this very advanced space that I think that we've got these young minds with this incredible ability, and if we can just connect some dots into manufacturing, I think there's going to be some new ideas that are going to come from that we may not have had otherwise.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of brilliant people out there, and people using 3D printers and figuring things out and wanting to get into manufacturing, and realizing that they actually can make things is a huge step. I think one thing that you mentioned that is difficult is the wage ratio, and being able to do that and compete with offshore manufacturers. And it's really hard to compete with offshore manufacturers when you're worried about insurance, and you're worried about good wages, and you're worried about good equipment, and none of that stuff is just given to you.
No,
And you can only charge so much before somebody goes, listen, I can get it made cheaper here for this.
well, that's just it. We've got to find a solution to that. And, I think for the way things are looking, anytime you go to any kind of trade show, I mean, the first thing that you see is automation and AI. And so those are the two big transitions that I'm seeing in manufacturing, where you've got to integrate those into your space to be able to maintain that competitive edge and to be able to just adapt to the changes that are happening within manufacturing, because those things are going to continue to come. And I think that we have to embrace them rather than to be worried about them. And so, even in a small shop, that's what we're looking to try and do. We want to add in, automation. And I mean, I'm still at this point, I'm using heavy AI to be able to not just program, but to structure the company and to be able to manage the finances and to be able to put together, procedures and to make sure that we're moving forward in the right direction in the quickest way possible. And so, leveraging all those tools and those resources are really important. And hopefully, other companies are doing the same thing.
It's great to look at all of those things as tools and resources, just like you said, right? They can't be crutches and they can't be the only way that you know how to do it. But if they can make you faster and they can make you better and they can allow you to work on other things in your business, then you have to look into ways to get that into your system.
Yeah, I mean, this industry moves too quick, and if you don't adapt to those changes, then you'll get left behind and you'll miss the boat. And I think that as a country, we need to start just embracing some of these things where we got to think outside the box a little bit and the resources and the tools that are available to us, and become more efficient with those things. And I think that we're going to be able to bring in and adjust that pay and to be able to just end things in balance rather than it feeling so lopsided from years ago. And I'm very confident that the people that come into my company as we continue to grow are going to have a great life. They're going to make a lot of money, and they're all going to feel success from just being a part of what we're doing.
I love that. You got a fan here. Gabriel says, Shane is a great business owner who has a great support for my program. He's always engaging when he visits my class and shows students what's possible.
Gabe's the man. I met Gabe. It was a few years back. We actually were on a flight going down to see Titan Gilroy from Titans of CNC. And I had seen that he had a shirt on that said Titans of CNC. And so we connected, and we've been becoming really close friends through that whole process. And him being an educator and me being a business owner, we're able to kind of go back and forth and collaborate on the things that he's doing to make sure that they're in line for the student. That way, as they're learning and as they're growing and educating, that they're getting the resources that they need to step into real world manufacturing and be ready for it. And so we had a lot of really deep, great conversations about how we can curate that for them, and just also just having great conversation as friends.
No, I love it. I mean, clearly you're a guy that likes people and wants to give back to the community and help the industry grow, and not just your team, but all of it. It's one of those things where we all get stronger if we're working together, right? We're better together than we are trying to work as individuals and even individual companies, like we talked about before. So, I just want to thank you for your time today and for being willing to jump on and share your expertise and your passion and everything that you're doing. And if there's anything I can ever do to help you guys in the company and grow, man, please don't hesitate to ask. I'd love to find ways that we can work together because, like I said, I love your passion and what you're all about.
Absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity to get on and just share the story and just have a conversation.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
All right, man. You too. Thank you.
All right. That was Shane Grant from Machining Momentum. Solid conversation with him about everything that's going on in his company. And I appreciate all of it. But as we're leaving, before we go, I want to throw some prayers out there for Jake and Brian Warren. Things are not great for Jake right now, and they're not great for Brian and the Warren family. And we need to keep all of them in our prayers. And that's what we're going to do now. So, before I say that, I'm going to say thank you guys for watching and being part of the conversation with us. We will be at PT Expo next week, and we'll be at Feed My Starving Children on Monday. If you'd like to join us, I'd love to have you be there with us, and make a difference in the lives of kids across the world as we find ways to feed them. Now I'm going to pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for this opportunity to talk with Shane and for the conversation that we had. I just pray that you would continue to bless all the people that listen to this podcast and the people that are out there doing the things and growing the people that that will serve you. God, you are the first manufacturer ever. You created all the things. You created the world. You created people. You created the ideas. You are the first manufacturer. Nothing exists without you, and nothing is done and everything is done through you. And so, God, we just pray today for Brian and Jake. We pray that your will would be done in their lives, and that no matter what happens, no matter how it goes, that they would cling onto you for strength and for comfort, knowing that you are in control of all things. And so, God, we just pray that you would be glorified in whatever happened. We know that you do all things for a reason. Nothing is accidental. And so we just give this time to you, and we just pray that you would have been glorified through it. We love you, and it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, everybody. Thank you for today. Thank you for being with us. I appreciate you joining us on the show. Take care, and God bless.